Welcome to Focus English with Cece.
Hello, everyone. A massive welcome back to Focus English with Cece. I'm Cece, and I am absolutely thrilled to be here with you today. Whether you are listening on your morning commute, taking a walk, or relaxing at home, I am so happy you've chosen to practice your English with us. Today is a very special episode because I am finally ready to share my culture in a deep and meaningful way. We are going to take a journey today, not just through language, but through the hearts of our countries.
And I'm Tom, your friendly Canadian. It is great to be back. Today, we're going to talk about the similarities and the differences between our two countries, the USA and Canada. We are neighbors, geographically speaking. We share the longest international border in the world. But are we really the same? Do we think the same? Do we eat the same things?
That is the big question. We share a border, we share a language, but our cultures have very unique flavors. Sometimes people from other parts of the world think Americans and Canadians are identical. They might hear our accents and think, oh, they're the same. But once you live there, you realize there are subtle differences. But before we dive into the people, the food, and the beautiful landscapes, we have a small favor to ask.
That's right. We put a lot of effort into these lessons because we want you to succeed. If you are enjoying our conversations and want to improve your English fluency, please take a moment right now to hit that subscribe button. It's just a small click for you, but it means the world to us.
Yes, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. It really helps our channel grow, and it ensures you never miss a lesson. We want to build a community here, so come join the family. We want to hear your voices in the comment section too.
Awesome. Let's get started.
Let's start with the most important part of any culture, the people. You know, Tom, I've heard so many stereotypes. Sometimes they are true, sometimes they are not. Tell me the truth. What are Canadian people really like?
Well, stereotypes usually come from somewhere. They usually start with a grain of truth. Canadian people are often known for being very polite and reserved.
Reserved. That is a great word. For our listeners, let's pause there. Reserved means you are a bit quiet and keep your emotions to yourself, right? It's the opposite of being loud or dramatic.
Exactly. We value peace and quiet. We don't like to cause a scene. To cause a scene means to attract negative attention in public. We try to avoid that. In fact, we have a national habit that the rest of the world laughs at. We often say, sorry, a lot, even when it's not our fault.
Is it really that common? I have heard jokes about this, but is it true in daily life?
Oh, it's a national habit. It is deeply programmed into our brains. For example, if I am walking down the street and someone bumps into me, so it is their fault, not mine, I will instinctively say, oh, sorry. It's like a reflex. I apologize for being in their way. We just want everyone to be happy and comfortable. We value social harmony. So, for our listeners, a key sentence to remember is, Canadian people are known for being very polite. But Cece, how does that compare to the neighbors downstairs?
The neighbors downstairs. I like that description. Well, I've heard that stereotype about Canadians, and it seems so true. In the U.S., the vibe is definitely different. The energy is different. I'd say Americans are generally more outgoing and direct.
Outgoing means you are social and confident, right? You enjoy meeting new people?
Yes, precisely. We value independence and confidence. We are often taught that you need to sell yourself to succeed. If we have an opinion, we usually speak our minds right away. We are trained from a young age to speak up in class, to raise our hands, and to introduce ourselves to strangers with a firm handshake. We value honesty and efficiency in communication. We want to get to the point.
That is very true. I have noticed that when I visit the U.S. Sometimes that directness can be surprising to a polite Canadian. We might think it's a little bit rude or aggressive at first, but really, you're just being honest. You're not trying to be mean. You're trying to be clear.
Exactly. We don't like to waste time guessing what someone feels. If I don't like the food at a restaurant, I might politely tell the waiter. A Canadian might eat it anyway, just to be nice.
I have definitely eaten bad food just to be nice. I didn't want to hurt the chef's feelings.
See, that is the difference. You know, Tom, this reminds me of a perfect idiom. In the US, because we are so direct, we really dislike it when people beat around the bush.
Beat around the bush. That is a fantastic idiom. It sounds very visual. Can you explain to our listeners what that means?
Sure. To beat around the bush means to avoid talking about what is important or to avoid getting to the main point of a conversation. Imagine a bird hiding in a bush. You want to catch the bird. If you hit the outside of the bush, the leaves around the edge, you're not catching the bird. You're avoiding the center. You're wasting time.
Ah, I see. That is a great visual. So let's practice this. If I have bad news, maybe I broke your favorite coffee mug, and I talk about the weather for 10 minutes instead of telling you about the mug, I am beating around the bush?
Exactly. You're delaying the truth. And Americans hate that. We prefer you to be direct. Just say, Cece, I broke your mug. I might be mad for a second, but I appreciate the honesty.
That makes sense. So Canadians might beat around the bush to be polite and save feelings, while Americans just say what they think.
That is the perfect summary. It's not that one way is better than the other. They're just different cultural styles.
Before we move on from language and communication, I have to bring up one more thing. We're both speaking English right now, but we spell things differently, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. This is a nightmare for English learners sometimes. The confusing letter U.
Yes, in Canada, we generally follow British spelling rules. So for the word color, C-O-L-O-R, we add a U. We spell it color, C-O-L-O-U-R. The same goes for favorite or neighbor.
In the US, we like to keep things short. We removed the U. We just want to be efficient. And then there's the last letter of the alphabet. Tom, say the letter Z.
Z.
See? In America, we say Z, like a buzzing bee. But in Canada, you say Z.
That's right. So if you are learning English, don't panic. Both are correct. It just depends on which side of the border you're standing on.
Speaking of standing on different sides of the border, let's move on to our lifestyle. I think our weekend habits really show who we are. What's a typical weekend in the U.S.?
I imagine it's very busy.
Oh, a weekend in the U.S. is sacred. Sacred means very important or holy. It's all about family and sports. We have a very specific tradition related to sports called tailgating.
Tailgating? Now, for our students, let's break that word down. A tailgate is the back door of a pickup truck, isn't it? The part that folds down?
Yes, that is the literal object. But the activity of tailgating is when we have a party in the parking lot. This is huge for American football. We drive to the stadium hours before a big football game starts, sometimes 4 or 5 hours early. We lower the tailgate of the truck to use as a table or bench, set up a grill and barbecue outside the stadium.
So the party happens before the game?
Yes, sometimes the party in the parking lot is more fun than the game itself. It's a community event. We eat burgers, hot dogs, and drink beer. We play games like cornhole, which is a game where you throw beanbags at a board. We listen to loud music. Everyone is wearing their team jerseys. It's very loud and high energy.
That sounds intense. It sounds like a festival every weekend.
It is. It's about showing spirit. Then Sunday is often dedicated to a large brunch, maybe pancakes, eggs, and bacon, or maybe just relaxing on the couch, watching more sports on TV. Life in the US is very fast-paced during the week. We work long hours, so weekends are sacred. We try to pack as much fun as possible in those 2 days. We want to maximize our free time.
That sounds fun, but honestly, to a Canadian, that also sounds exhausting.
That can be. How do Canadians relax?
In Canada, we're big on spending time outdoors, but usually in a much quieter way. Because we have such vast nature, forests, lakes, mountains, our goal is often to escape the crowds, not join them. We have so much space and not that many people.
So, no parties in parking lots.
Not usually. Hiking, skiing in the winter, or going to the cottage are common traditions. The cottage culture is huge, especially in Ontario and the East. When the weather is nice in the summer on a Friday afternoon, the highways are full of people driving out of the city to go up to the cottage, eh?
I love the A. I was waiting for you to use it.
I had to include it. A is our signature word. It turns a statement into a little question, like, don't you agree? Or, right? For example, it's cold today, eh? It invites the other person to agree with you. It's a way of being friendly.
I love that. So tell me more about the cottage. Is it a fancy house?
It can be, but usually a cottage is a simple wooden house by a lake. Often the goal is to disconnect. Some cottages don't even have good internet. Going to the cottage means swimming in the lake, canoeing, sitting by a campfire at night, roasting marshmallows, and listening to the silence. The most iconic sound in Canada is the sound of a bird called the loon. It makes a haunting, beautiful call across the water.
That sounds incredibly romantic and peaceful.
It is very peaceful. It recharges your battery. While Americans recharge by having a high-energy party, Canadians recharge by hiding in the woods.
That is a great distinction. Let's jump to the best topic, food. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Learning about food is the best way to learn about culture. Tom, what's one unique Canadian food that's a must-try?
Oh, without a doubt, it has to be poutine.
Poutine. I hear this word all the time. It sounds French. Please describe it for us.
It is French-Canadian, originating from Quebec. It is the ultimate comfort food. Comfort food means food that makes you feel good emotionally, usually high in calories. Poutine is a bowl of hot French fries topped with fresh cheese curds and covered in hot, savory brown gravy.
Fries, cheese, and gravy? That is a heavy combination.
It sounds strange to people who haven't tried it, but it is delicious. The key is the squeak. The cheese curds must be very fresh. When you bite into them, they should make a little squeaking noise against your teeth. And the gravy melts the cheese just a little bit. It warms you up from the inside out, especially during our cold winters. You can say, one of the most unique foods in my country is poutine. Have you ever tried it, Cece?
I have. I tried it once in Montreal. It was amazing, but very heavy. I felt like I needed to sleep for 3 hours after eating it.
Yes, the food coma is real with poutine. What about the U.S.? Do you have one specific dish?
In the US, our food identity is huge because the country is so big. We are famous for regional specialties. We are a melting pot of cultures, so our food reflects that.
That's true. New York food is different from California food.
Exactly. For example, in the South, you have Texas barbecue. This isn't just grilling burgers. This is smoking meat for 12 or 14 hours until it falls off the bone. In the Northeast, you have New York pizza with the thin crust. Or in Louisiana, you have spicy Cajun food like gumbo, which has French and African influences.
Cajun food is delicious. I love the spices.
It is, but if I had to pick one classic meal that represents the whole country, it is the Thanksgiving dinner. Thanksgiving happens in November in the US. The meal is roast turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and cranberry sauce. And for dessert, pumpkin pie. That's a huge emotional tradition for us. It represents family and gratitude.
That sounds like a feast.
It is a massive amount of food. We usually spend all day cooking it. Actually, Tom, thinking about that huge dinner reminds me of another idiom. At Thanksgiving, people often bite off more than they can chew.
Oh, good one. Bite off more than you can chew. This fits perfectly with the food theme. Does that mean they literally choke on the turkey?
Hopefully not. Literally, yes. It means putting too much food in your mouth so you can't chew it. But figuratively, in daily life, the idiom means to try to do something that is too difficult for you. It means you accepted a task that is too big.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Imagine you are a student. You decide to take difficult math classes, join the soccer team, learn to play the piano, and work a part-time job all at the same time. You will be exhausted. You won't be able to do any of them well. You have bitten off more than you can chew.
That is a great lesson for learning English, too. Don't try to learn 1,000 words in one day. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Just learn a little bit every day. Be patient with yourself.
Exactly. Consistent small steps are better than one giant step that makes you fail.
Thanksgiving is a big holiday here in Canada, too, just in October. We celebrate it earlier because our harvest season ends earlier due to the cold. Our winter comes very fast. Talking about holidays, what are some big U.S. celebrations?
Well, in the summer, Independence Day on July 4th is massive. It is the day we celebrate becoming a country. It's like a giant birthday party for the nation. Lots of fireworks, parades, and patriotism. Everyone wears red, white, and blue.
It's very iconic. We see it in movies all the time.
But in the winter, Christmas is the one holiday where our traditions are strong. Even if people aren't religious, the cultural aspect is huge. Putting up colorful lights on the house, baking cookies, and exchanging gifts. We go really big on decorations. Some neighborhoods have competitions to see who has the most lights on their house.
In Canada, we have a very similar summer party to your July 4th. We celebrate Canada Day on July 1st. We have big parades and concerts. Everybody wears red and white, but it's maybe a little more relaxed than the 4th of July. We are polite regarding our patriotism.
And do you have any unique holidays? Something we don't have?
We do. We have a holiday called Family Day in February.
Family Day? I've never heard of that. What is the purpose?
It's a newer tradition. You have to understand February in Canada is very hard. It is the middle of winter. It is dark, freezing cold, and snowy. The days are short. Everyone feels a bit sad and tired. We call it the winter blues. So the government created a holiday just to let people stay home and spend quiet time with your loved ones during the cold winter. It's not about gifts. It's just about being together to survive the winter.
That is so wholesome. Wholesome means good for your soul and moral well-being. I love that idea. Taking a break just to be with family is beautiful.
It really helps. Let's talk about the landscape. Our listeners love travel. If a listener visits Canada, where should they go? Canada is the second largest country in the world by land mass, so it's hard to choose.
It is massive.
It is, but I always recommend the Rocky Mountains, and specifically Banff National Park in the province of Alberta.
Why Banff? I have seen pictures on Instagram and it looks fake because it is so beautiful.
The scenery is unreal. The lakes are an incredible turquoise color. Turquoise is a mix of blue and green. They're bright blue because of the glacial water.
The water comes from melting ice. It's a peaceful and massive landscape. The mountains are jagged and covered in snow. You can feel the power of nature there. You might see bears, elk, or moose.
A moose. That is the giant animal with the big antlers, right?
Yes, and they are huge. If you see one, stay far away. They are beautiful, but dangerous. You should say to your friends, if you visit Canada, you should go to Banff National Park to see the mountains.
That sounds breathtaking. It sounds like a painting come to life.
It really is. Now, if I come to the U.S., where do you send me? The U.S. has deserts, swamps, mountains, and beaches.
If you come to the U.S., you have to choose between history and nature. For history and city life, you must visit Washington, D.C. to see the White House or maybe the Statue of Liberty in New York. Those are symbols of our nation.
Iconic. But what about nature? I want to see something I can't see in Canada.
For sheer nature, I always say the Grand Canyon in Arizona. It's just huge and majestic. It's a massive crack in the earth carved by a river over millions of years. The colors are red, orange, and brown. It's hot and dry, which is totally different from your cold Canadian mountains.
The Grand Canyon is certainly on my bucket list. A bucket list is a list of things you want to do before you die. It looks so dramatic.
When you stand on the edge of the Grand Canyon, you feel very small. It's a humbling experience.
Now, one final question on our daily lives. We've talked about holidays and vacations, but what about a regular Tuesday? What is a common daily habit for Americans?
Well, Americans are always busy. We are a culture that is constantly moving. So Americans really love their coffee, often large to-go cups.
The to-go culture.
Yes! In many countries, people sit down at a cafe to drink coffee. In the U.S., we order it to go. We walk down the street with giant cups. We drink it in the car. And speaking of cars, we drive everywhere. Our cities are spread out, so commuting is a huge part of our day. We spend a lot of time in our cars listening to the radio or podcasts, like this one.
We Canadians love coffee too. We have a famous chain called Tim Hortons. You will see a Tim Hortons on almost every corner. We order a double-double. That means a coffee with 2 creams and 2 sugars. But maybe our favorite habit is not drinking coffee, but ice hockey.
Is it really that popular? I know it exists in the U.S., but is it that big in Canada?
It's not just a sport, it's a lifestyle. It's the national winter sport. You'll see kids and adults playing on frozen ponds, in backyards, and in arenas all winter long. Parents wake up at 5 a.m. to drive their kids to the ice rink. It connects the whole country. Even if you don't play, you watch it on TV on Saturday nights. It is the one thing that brings everyone together.
That's a great example of how a sport can be a tradition. It brings people together. You know, Tom, even though our countries are neighbors, these small cultural details, from poutine to tailgating, from the Grand Canyon to Banff, make our stories so unique.
Absolutely. Sharing these stories is the real goal of learning English. You're not just learning vocabulary words like reserved or outgoing, you're sharing a piece of your heart. When you can explain your culture to someone else, you are truly connecting with them. That is the magic of language.
I couldn't agree more. That was such a fun conversation. I feel like I understand my northern neighbor a little better now. Before we go, let's do a quick review of the key vocabulary and phrases we use today for our students.
Great idea. Repetition is the key to learning. Here are the important words from today.
First, we talked about personality. Polite and reserved, used to describe someone who is well-mannered, respectful, and quiet.
Outgoing and direct, used to describe someone social,
confident, and honest with their opinions, like Americans.
Then we talked about lifestyle and food.
Tailgating, a party in a parking lot before a sports game involving grilling food.
Poutine, a Canadian dish of fries, teas curds, and gravy.
Turquoise, a blue-green color often seen in glacial lakes.
And don't forget our 2 idioms. These are great for making you sound like a native speaker. First, beat around the bush. It means to avoid saying the main point, to talk about unimportant things to delay the truth.
Number 2, bite off more than you can chew. Means to try to do something that is too difficult or too much for you to handle.
Wow, excellent review. So listeners, we have a question for you. We talked about our cultures, but we want to learn about yours. Tell us, what is the most unique tradition in your country? Is it a specific food, a festival, a habit? Do you beat around the bush, or are you direct?
Please write your answer in the comments below. We love reading your stories from around the world. It helps us learn too.
Thank you so much for joining Focus English with Cece today. It was a pleasure comparing our worlds.
See you next time, everyone. Keep practicing, don't be afraid to make mistakes, and keep sharing your culture with pride. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Take care.